You're listening to the Recovered Life Show, the show that helps people in recovery live their best recovered lives. And here is your host, Damon Frank.
And welcome back to the Recovered Life Show. It is November 21st, 2022. How you doing, Kristina Dennis?
I'm doing wonderful, Mr. Damon Frank. It's been a minute since I've seen your face. So happy.
It has. It's so rusty that I didn't even do the date. I was blah, blah, blah with the date. It is Monday, November 21st, guys, 2022. Look, this whole show is about where have Kristina and Damon been for the last few weeks? Because we have not been doing the podcast. We have not been doing it.
Were we on a beach?
No, we were not on a beach.
And neither one of us was in jail.
And I would neither. Well, no, none of us were in jail. None of us were in jail. Thank goodness.
Okay.
Because it is a Christmas season. It's hard to afford that bail.
Yes.
Right around now. You know what I mean? You got to really go deep on the credit card. Listen, guys, I would like to thank everybody. It is November 21st, 2022. It's Thanksgiving week. Thanks to everybody who reached out. People on Clubhouse, like, hey, when's the next show going? You know, we had some shows that were going, some interviews that I had done over that period of time, and they were really great. We had a bunch of How I Did It come out, but we were gone. Kristina, you and I did not physically do the show for about 2 weeks, and we want to kind of announce why we didn't do the show for 2 weeks. We didn't just disappear. It actually is kind of cool why we didn't do the show, but we're back. And we're going to be back a lot more than we were before. So new episodes coming this week. This is obviously a new episode. We got a bunch of cool stuff that's coming up here. But where were we, Kristina? Tell them where we were.
We had some construction hats on. We were busy being Bob the Builder over here. And we have, we're so proud of this. We have birthed the Recovered Life Network. And it is exciting. It is so exciting. I kind of am pinching myself a little.
You know, let me set this up for people, because people who listen to the show, they might have been following us on Volley, Kristina, right? They might have seen us on Clubhouse or whatever, but they didn't really. They never were. Maybe they're part of our email list and got a couple of emails, but we've been talking this whole time that we've had Recovered Life, even back before I met you, before you started co-hosting the show. I was talking about, you know what, I want to really launch something that's really cool that people could use, because I honestly, like 5 years ago, Kristina, you know the story. I was in my car, I was leaving a 12-step meeting, and I was like, you know what? I wish I had this ultimate home group that I didn't have, right? I need something a little bit more in my long-term recovery, and there's got to be something else out there. And I looked and there wasn't. So I said, you know what? I'm going to create it. So we're so happy to announce that we launched our on-demand peer support network with access to top recovery coaches, content, community. And here's the best part of it. Thanks to you, Kristina, quality peer support meetings that can be accessed virtually. This is the coolest thing. Tell people about this.
Well, first of all, I'm so glad that you shared the beginnings, because I think that you were not alone. I think there were a lot of us who wanted to have a place to connect and really have support beyond the 12 steps. Although I love those, there is a place and a need to have these really wonderful connections and conversations. So we have launched our peer support meetings. They are virtual. They are safe. Really, really good, because you can come and share a little bit more. You can come no matter what pathway you came from, however you want to do it. We realize at Recovered Life that there are multiple ways to come, but many of us want to continue to have that conversation, while we're getting sober or after we've gotten sober. We needed to be with our people. And I feel like the pandemic kind of served it up to us. Like, we needed to be able to connect. And that is what Recovered Life is offering.
So the cool thing that we launched is literally we've got meetings going all week long from all
Yep.
the top recovery coaches. You can get one-on-one coaching with these coaches, which is amazing. Christina, of course, and I, of course, are in there in the
Mhm.
coaches, but it's more than that. Like, we realize like we love doing the show. We love coaching, Christina. We love working
Yep.
with people. We talk about that a lot on the show about how much we appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that. But we know that there's a lot of other people out there that are coaches that we lean on as friends that we know
Right.
and that are just so good at what they do, whether it is, eating, disordered eating, or people that have different types of recovery experiences, people
Yes.
that are really into peer support and have
Mhm.
specialties. So the great thing about this recovered life thing that we did is reached out to it. We've got a dream team of coaches that are coming in
We
that are
do.
going to be there providing free content. We
Mhm.
do have a membership, which is really, really small. It's $19.99 a month. We call it Core because it gives you access to all of these free meetings that are going on. Now, we have several meetings that we launched with, which was cool
They
because
were.
both we had people we were coaching that
Yes.
jumped right in. So it's already going, which is amazing. There's already a community there.
It is. It is so cool. I mean, and when you consider having one space in which you can make your home to discuss all kinds of things from like disordered eating to trauma to dysfunctional family situations to, the meditation part of it,
Oh, yes.
we really served it up so that people can find their way through and be able to see all the options that are out there. Both Damon and I are long-term sober people. And we know that we could not get to where we are with just one meeting a week or one subject a week. And so this is a place where you can come and have those deep conversations, check in, and really build, hopefully, an international community. That was
Yeah.
the other thing that I learned in the pandemic is that recovery is the same uh, everywhere. And we are so much more alike than we even realize. And I think that it's going to be amazing.
You know what I love about Recovered Life is the formats that we have. I'm a huge 12 stepper. You're a 12 stepper. That's how I got sober. That's how I got into this whole thing, right? Was through 12 steps. And I love it. And I think it's perfect. And I enjoy going to 12 step meetings. But one of the things that is frustrating with me in the 12 step scenario is that the identification that you have to
Hmm.
come in and identify right away is like, hey, I'm codependent, or I'm an
Hmm.
alcoholic, or I'm this. And there's a lot of people who have stacked addictions, right? Maybe they're codependent, and they're addicted. They're addicted to people, right? Or they're addicted to
Right.
food, but they have a lot of different things going on, and they haven't maybe quite wrapped their head around the vocabulary of that. All
Yes.
you have to do is really want to pursue it with Recovered Life, and you can
Hmm.
jump on and be part of it. There's no grand announcement you have to make. You can sit in on things. And what I love the most about it is we have these things called Recovered Life check-ins, Christina.
Hmm.
And you can talk a little bit about that because we design these meetings literally for people to check in, to share
Yes.
their breakdown and breakthrough, because we know checking in, although you can't do that with some 12 step groups, checking in a peer support uh, uh, atmosphere is really the glue that keeps people coming back and staying sober.
Right, right. I mean, certainly am not interested for somebody just to come. I mean, that's how I maintain my recovery and sobriety. And so the recovery check-in, share your breakthrough to break down, or your breakdown to a breakthrough is a really great place to come and, dip your toe in it, get used to your group. You will feel comfortable. You will start to recognize people, but we really have it set up in a way that allows people to share from the heart where they are right now without
Hmm.
the fear of judgment, without that kind of attitude. You have to be here a certain long time to share. We know that we learn from each other much more than we learn from any authority. So that is the glue that keeps people together.
I love that because I said to you privately when we were building this, I said, I really wish I had the opportunity to have conversations about codependency, to have
Right.
conversations about eating, about money, about about meditation, right? Where I didn't feel like the core of my sobriety was threatened because I asked that question. One of
Mhm,
the things that goes on in the recovery community that I dislike is that people
mhm.
think it's all or nothing. Like you have to
Right.
go to therapy, or you have to go to 12 steps, or you have to go to a private infinity group or so, like all of these different things. And it's not. And we built Recovered Life specifically so people could explore. It's a great addition to what you
Mhm.
have going on, or a great replacement for certain things in your recovery that you feel you're not getting.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm with you. I had to go to multiple groups within the first 5 years of my recovery. I went to 5 different groups, and, I can tell you the my trauma did not get addressed, certain areas, it was an outside issue, and I love the people that we're bringing in because the coaches are all wonderful, well-rounded recovery coaches, but they're also committed to that same mission, which is that you
Yeah.
can recover your way. We are here to support you and to explore options.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to dive in a little bit because we were gone.
Mhm.
One of the things that we do so great with the show is I bring on experts. And, we had Dr. Gless last week. He's coming back this week. We're talking about, kind of these patterns in families, and, the whole holiday burnout thing, and about,
Right.
feeling like their family's a trigger. I know we talk about that in Setting Healthy Boundaries, which is a show on Recovered Life as well. But one of the things I like about this is these coaches that we're bringing in. And I have to highlight one that I'm really excited about, which is Haven. And if you could tell a little bit about Haven, about what she
Yes.
does, because I
Yes.
think it's something that almost everyone needs, right? And there's
Mhm.
so many people, especially during Thanksgiving week, that are suffering with disordered eating, and
Right.
she is coming in as a disordered eating coach. Tell us a little bit about Haven.
Well, first of all, she's the one percenter, right? She got sober. She has given away over 100 pounds and kept it off. And she is really diving into freedom from food addiction, but also discussing the source of the food addiction, going after the trauma, having that bigger conversation. She told me, look, everybody kind of knows what to eat, right? But there is something that is pushing them into either lethal eating, or they're not happy. We call them stacked addictions here, but I can tell you when I gave up alcohol, I was in the sugar, and that wasn't peace. That wasn't peace with food. And so she is hosting her first event coming up this Saturday at 8 a.m. She's also putting it at a time that everybody can make it. And I really encourage you to go to that room because it is going to be more than just freedom from food addiction.
Haven Beck, guys. Haven Beck is her name. Absolutely amazing. I met her on Clubhouse, and she's so smart, which I
Mhm,
love about all the coaches that we've picked.
mhm,
They all have their own interesting personality, because one of the things with one-on-one coaching, look, I've admitted on the show, like, I love coaching,
mhm.
and I love coaching different types of people, but I'm not for everybody. Like,
Right.
I'm not for everybody, right? Like, and either
Yep.
are you, right? Like, so we know
Mm-mm.
that it's like you have to find the one that you like. And what I love about what we did here, Christina, with Recovered Life as a peer support coaching network, as a peer
Mhm,
support network, is one, it's all about addiction, right?
mhm.
There's so many of these things out here that are all about addiction.
Right.
Not about addiction, really. Actually, not about. They're just about mental health, right? Which,
Yes.
by the way, we have a lot of mental health kind of peer support in here, but
Yes.
this is specifically for people who suffer from addiction. So one, that makes it different. The second thing is the amount of people that we have with long-term sobriety that are attached to this. We were in a meeting the other day, and just there was 4 or 5 people. We had over 100 years
Oh,
just in
you're
that
so
four to
right.
five people, right? And that's exciting to me, because we have people that have a couple, they're in their maybe first 3 to 5 years that are into peer support, but then we also people that have over 20 years.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that we're going to do both, because we do have a really exciting meeting come up with co-occurring disorders. But that is necessary. That is necessary to talk about and to look at our addiction in a silo experience. I don't think actually serves people. So I cannot wait for people to start coming. I know we had people last week. I cannot wait to see where this grows to, because I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Another person that we're bringing onto the network, which I love, is Jeff. Do you want to talk about Jeff a little bit?
Sure. Jeff Graham, he does Back to Zero, and he is so enthusiastic. He was a coach. He really understands the early sobriety, the things that you need to go, and he's a really fun guy. So he's got events planned where he's going to discuss, talking about a Super Bowl event, actually talking about tailgating. He's the kind of guy that is interested in getting you home sober. So if you are struggling with it, maybe you've relapsed, maybe you haven't, this is the place that you want to be with Jeff's group. He is so intentional in his coaching. He will help people because that's what he was born to do.
What I love about Jeff is that Jeff Graham has got this, and anyone listening to this, I think, can relate to this, because if you're new in sobriety, you're worried about, how do I go to the office party?
Mm-hmm.
How do I go to the football game that I've gone to for 20 years drunk? How do I go now sober and get back home? How do I do a tailgating event? How do I go do these things and literally physically get back 3 hours later sober? And this is the nuts and bolts of recovery. And I think he addresses it well. And I think also for guys, I know a lot of women follow Jeff Graham. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. And I totally see the appeal there, because,
Mm-hmm.
what he's talking about works for everyone, right? But also, guys, special thing, especially people who like sports or have
Mm-hmm.
been in that part of that whole thing. He's really versed in that, right? And has
Yes.
experience in that. And it's kind of cool because you don't see a lot of people actually that are sober in that niche. There's a lot of people that are guarded that have been in the
Mm-hmm.
sports world, right? And Jeff Graham's really open about it. And I think he's a really special addition. So guys, look for that. Look for that. Kristina, real quick, before we go on, because I know there's one other person we want to mention here. I want to talk about this whole getting sober via an algorithm.
Right.
And one of the reasons why we were gone for so long is we really wanted to focus on connection, because
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of, and I'm not bagging on technology. I love technology. We have a ton of technology in what we're doing. You can RSVP
Yes.
and get text messages and all that stuff. All that stuff you really wanted from your home group, you can
Yes.
kind of get at Recovered Life now. But there is something that, I don't believe personally that technology keeps you sober. You can bring in any mathematician you want. I really think at the end of the day, it's community and connection
Mm-hmm.
that gets and keeps you sober. What's your thought on that?
Well, and I totally agree with you. Going 30 days is nice, but when you get past 30 days, we know that to have long-term recovery, you have to be amongst your people. And it is very, very important. Focusing on days is helpful, but I don't think that it actually, will keep you sober. And frankly, I don't think that technology can replace what either you or I have been able to benefit from. And the people that I know, that's what matters, is actually having connection.
Absolutely. You know what? And again, I'm a huge technology fan, and we were just talking about text message notifications before,
Yes.
because like Recovered Life allows you to get those for the meetings, right? Which is really cool. So you can find a group meeting that you like and go to it. But one of the things is we didn't want it to be a technology barrier, and I didn't want it to be about technology. I wanted it to be about
Yep.
connection and about you
Yep.
actually going to a place. Like we were at Old School last week, and it's the first time that we did it actually as a group on Recovered Life, open
Right.
to people. And I got you, and I've been doing that for over 3 years, Kristina. It was I'm still talking about that meeting.
It
And
was
it's been
so good.
days, right? It was good
Mm-hmm.
because the connection with the people, and there were new people, that I hadn't met. And there's people that I have known in recovery. They have 10 years and I saw them come in the
Right.
first day, right? So it's like different various types of people, socioeconomic class, everything in there. Yeah, the technology helps for the reminder and everything else, but it's that connection that I
Mm-hmm.
love so much about this because, and it's the quality of the coaches that really care. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having people that you're in the meetings with that really care. It
Yes.
means a lot. It means a lot.
Oh, I have been so overjoyed in the programming that they're putting together for people. And I mean, I want to go to every single one of them because they care so much about everybody having a chance at recovery and feeling like they belong there. So you do not want to miss out on what we have coming up.
Absolutely. I want to talk because I want to talk about Meredith real quick. Can
Yes.
you tell us about Meredith? Because Meredith is an amazing peer support person he just joined this week on Recovered Life as a Coach and is going to be in a bunch of new rooms that we're doing. And you
Yes.
will see here, guys, if you're going to meetings on Recovered Life, you're going to definitely want to go to Meredith's room.
Yes, Meredith Wycliffe. She's a very accomplished business person, also a registered nurse for multiple decades. And she is an expert in codependency and dysfunctional family systems. And so she will share her own story openly. She was raised in a family full of addiction, and she knows firsthand what it can do to us, even if you do not have a physical addiction. Her knowledge is beyond compare. She's been helping people for over 12 years, and she is just she's sunshine. So you definitely want to
Yeah.
come to that one.
Absolutely. Even though, and the cool thing about Meredith is she's just neat. She's just a neat person and full of energy. And I love being in rooms with her because she just brings up the energy so much. And I always feel better after spending time with her in these rooms. But what I love about Meredith is she's talking about the dysfunctional family unit. And I think one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did in Recovered Life is that allow people to have a bigger conversation, Christina, because a lot of the times these identifications and these classifications, as great as they are, it can be a holdback. Well, you know what? You might be sober for 20 years or 10 years, but you didn't have a mother or father that was, quote, an alcoholic, but you came from a dysfunctional family and you're seeing all these things happen in your life and you identify with that, but you don't have a qualifier to really get in, right? Like,
Right.
so well, it can't be that. Well, it is that because
It
you have it.
is.
You had a dysfunctional family. So the great thing about coaches like Meredith is they're talking about their experience, and it might not be exactly like you hear maybe in a 12-step meeting. It's a little bit broader conversation
Right.
uh, to allow for a little bit more sharing, going a little bit deeper and a little bit more into what's actually going on with you
Right.
and working through the issues that you have in a peer support setting.
Yes, it's I've been in meetings with her. It's exceptional the way that she facilitates her groups, a safe place, a place where we realize that we can let go of the shame. We can let go of the belief systems that keep us in that codependent pattern. And yeah, again, we're not interested in labels, but if you feel like it, I feel like anybody who finds themselves at Recovered Life would benefit from attending her meeting.
Absolutely. I want to talk about something else real quick before we go, Christina. And we really we felt like we wanted to do this episode because one, we're so excited about Recovered Life.
So happy.
It's not an episode that we do, and one of the things that we want to do with Recovered Life is not sell it.
Mhm.
That because we just believe the values there, and people that have found it so far really enjoy it, and we hope you enjoy it too. But I want to talk about the economics of getting and staying sober in a peer support setting. You know, look, we've both coached
Mhm.
for high end support situations, and
Yes,
it's super expensive for
it
people
is.
to get that one on one peer coaching, sometimes that private, curated experience. One of the things we wanted to make sure is that it was available for people to be able to go one on one with people, but they also, if at the very basis, even with the free membership, would just get a ton of content, and then
Right.
maybe paying like, and our core membership is $19.99. It's $20, and you get
Mm-hmm.
access to all these meetings. I think it's so great that we kept this at a place that anyone can jump into it with a Zoom account and access to Recovered Life membership at $20. Pretty much anyone can jump into this and really get access to really high level, curated peer support meetings.
So true. And the it aligns with my heart. I know it aligns with Damon's heart, and I know that it aligns with all of our coaches' hearts. We have and have wanted to set up a situation, launch this network based on affordability. So if you are new to the game, or let's say you've been around a while, you know that you can have your membership and have many, many people supporting you on your road to recovery. And
Yeah.
you're right, 1999 is a steal.
It's great. I mean, we wanted to make it so if you go to several meetings a month, getting in the car and going and making $1 or $2 donation, you still couldn't beat what we have here, right? Like at
Right?
the level. But what I love about this is that with Core, we've made it that all these world-class coaches that are coming in are offering these free events or core
Hmm.
events. So if
Hmm.
you ever wanted to explore, how do I get my financial situation open? If you want to hear from from therapists and different experts on videos that we've done, you can access them. If you want to access an e-course, right, you can access it. This is what we want to do, and all literally right from the web, right? So it's
Hmm.
so great. It's connection. It's everything that I wanted, and I know you wanted in an ultimate home group, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. That was I still remember, 5 years ago walking around and saying this is something I really want to do because I do love coaching. I love it tremendously. But when I'm coaching one-on-one, I think about all of the people out there that don't have access to it, or can't afford, or maybe never came across it, didn't know there was an alternative, and now they have an alternative.
Absolutely, guys. I did want to put that one of the things that both Christine and I wanted to do, because we were launching this during the holidays, is we wanted to give everybody free 30-day membership, right? If you wanted to do core
Hmm.
for free for 30 days, we would absorb that cost because we know that during the holidays, staying sober during the holidays and staying sober is the most important thing. If you don't have physical sobriety, or if you're codependent or have an eating and you're trapped in physical addiction and you
Hmm.
can't get it, you're in your head all the time, that's not a great situation. So we wanted to be there in a peer support way and in a coaching way for people. So by giving people 30 days free during the most important time of the year to try to stay
Yes.
sober, where all these triggers happen, we got your back. So feel free that if you want to join the core membership, you can. And if you don't like it, or you don't feel that you want to invest in that, in your recovery in that way moving forward, you just cancel it. And
Yep.
it's totally fine, but it will at least get you through that 30-day period, which is coming up and super important.
Yes, we have some really nice events, really very cool events planned, and I know it's on everybody's heart. So definitely give yourself that gift. And as Damon said, cancel it if it doesn't work out for you. But I think that it will work out for you because it is a heart project that all of us have wanted to do.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it. Let's talk about the podcast before we leave here, guys.
Okay.
One of the things I was hesitant about doing this because I said, because I don't want to I want to be honest with people about where we were,
Mm-hmm.
because I know a lot of people are like, hey, what happened for two
Sure.
weeks? Why did it take? But it really took so much effort from Chris. And I'd like to thank you,
Oh,
because like it took so much effort to launch this. It really took a village to
it
get
did.
this up and going so that it would work for people in a seamless kind of way. So I'd like to thank everybody for holding on. We've still had a ton of downloads. And even though with the pre-recordings and everything, you guys have been so amazing. This has been such a journey for me personally. And to
Yes.
see this come through is so exciting for me. And I know for you as well, Christina. But we've got more shows coming up now. We're going to be on air a lot, doing a lot. So you want to tell people a little bit about some of the stuff that we've got on the deck, kind of with just free content and meetings
Yes.
that are going
Yes.
on
Yes.
in the next 30 days?
Absolutely. So not only are some of the meetings that we've already discussed, we have meditation practice coming, which I'm very excited about. We will obviously talk more about that. We have events around Christmas Eve for people, both food and sobriety. We have obviously January. I already kind of let the cat out of the bag with some Super Bowl celebrations. We are going to be putting out some wonderful e-courses for those of you who really enjoy working, on your own. And you can come and be involved in all of it, or exactly what works for you. But we've got some very cool workshops coming up, and you're going to be able to find it all in one place.
Absolutely. Guys, show up there, say hi to us when you're there. If you're in a meeting
Please.
and you found us on the show, we want to know. We want to say hi to
Yes.
you. The best things we can do is connect with you there, because it's so cool. Like, this whole experience, I'd like to just thank everybody too. This whole experience of Recovered Life has been kind of surreal, honestly. I
Mm-hmm.
never, I always thought, look, all alcoholics have a little magical thinking. Let's admit it a little bit, right? Like, we're always like, oh, we could do things, but the pursuit of this whole thing over the past 5 years, and then it crescendoing into the launch and all of these amazing people joining, has just been such a blessing for me. And it's really helped my own recovery, because it's allowed me to open up a lot. I know we were talking about that in Old School, about how it's changed my version of gratitude a little bit,
Right.
because I was getting, sometimes in long-term sobriety, you get jaded. you're I'm going to be honest, I'm not as grateful as I was when I
Mm-hmm.
first came in, right? But this has really kind of reframed things and made me feel really grateful about all the people that I've been able to connect with. So if you're one of those people, or if you're one of these people that we're going to connect with in the future, I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we can't wait to see you on Recovered Life.
Well, we can't close the show without me thanking you. Thank you for bringing me on, and thank you for asking me to be part of the show. And I think that this is a beautiful enterprise that we are involved in, but it wouldn't have happened without you, Damon. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And we can't wait to see everybody on Recovered Life. So join us, recoveredlife.us. Get the free membership, sign up for Core for 30 days if you want to too. Whatever works for you, but whatever you do, we want you to stay sober over 2022. And we can't wait to see you guys on the network.
Hey, bye.
Keep the conversation going. Join Recovered Life, a community of like-minded people who are looking to live their best recovered lives. Membership is free, and you can apply at recoveredlife.us.